1982, an average mall kind of had this look. Ovid wrote about the child eternal and the psychology of the eternal child. And I was just kind of thinking, why are we in this situation now? We are painted into a corner because this report on the eternal child, or excuse me, quoted something Antoine Saint-Exupéry, The Little Prince, about this man who, the author, he wrote a book. No, he drew a picture of an elephant inside of a swollen python. And everybody said it was a head. It was a head. No one could really see it until this little prince said, yeah, I see the elephant representing a very good animal, but devoured by the mother figure. And it was all about, anyways, this is very good because it's about individuation. Now, to make a long story short, we had our malls to run to if our mother was devouring us. There was always somewhere to go, whether it was Gilligan's Island, Leave It to Beaver, you know what I'm talking about. In the late 80s, they destroyed all the malls from the inside out. I wasn't paying attention. I was busy doing other stuff. I went out from the 80s and decided to keep growing, and I thought I was becoming more sophisticated. I even went through a communist phase, in the mind anyway, thinking that I was the intellectual like them, and it was just a joke now that I see the whole thing for what it is. And then go back and realize, geez, so shopping, they took shopping away from us. They took the joy of meandering about in society. That's what this guy was saying, was that in this thing about the eternal child, the other video, that Carl Jung, between Carl Jung and Saint-Exupéry, we're discussing about how the individuation of the eternal child, this Dionysian figure, was possible only by going out into society and becoming humble coming from the same word as humus, earth, humble, as opposed to fantasy, fancy schmancy fantasy land, psychopath narcissist, which is a fantasy land. So anyways, that's what all I wanted to say, is that we've got nowhere to go now because there's no good TV, really. And even if there was any, the commercials are actually screaming at us every excuse. Even if you've got any commercial, like for Tide Pod, anything at all, they got to pretend that someone's deaf and they got to scream. Whereas look at the malls back in 1982. There was quiet. It was actually a muted silence, and the way people even talked back in those days was very dulcet tones. Just listen to any interview. Look at, even old people enjoyed going to the malls. Look at, everybody's relaxed and easy on the eyes. Now you go there and your eyes feel as though you want to, nowadays, even though they're not necking like we used to do all the time, well, no, actually, no, we didn't in the malls, but we had a really beautiful atrium mall. If you want to see one of the malls I hung out with, it was in the movie called The Stains, Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, with Diane Lane. I couldn't believe it, but that was filmed at one of the malls that I hung out at back in the day. I could not believe when I saw that movie. But anyways, there's nowhere to go to anymore to individuate and become a human being, as opposed to a malignant child. There's nowhere to go. They took away our malls. Got it? No one's out in the streets either. No one's occupying till he comes. This is awful. There's nowhere to go. There's no malls. There's no TV. They took out all the roller rinks. And even if they didn't, they're just not the same anymore. Nothing's the same. It's just awful. I want Xanadu the movie. Like, now I see how they gave it such bad reviews at the time, because that's what they had to do. That was the thing. Destroy, steal, kill, destroy, steal, kill, destroy, take away disco. Talk about racism. The disco is what that was a racist thing to do, is to take out disco, and then pretend that it's no, that was I'm telling you, we were lied to, and I was too young to notice it. I'm not happy about it.